सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदिभ्या निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनः उरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावत् भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानां योगीन्द्राणां त्वदङ्गेष्वधिकसुमधुरं मुक्तिभाजां निवासो भक्तानां कामवर्षद्युतरुकिसलयं नाथ ते पादमूलं नित्यं चित्तस्थितं मे पवनपुरपते कृष्णा कारुण्य सिंधो कृष्णा कारुण्य सिंधो हृत्वा निशेषतापान् प्रदिशतु परमानन्द सन्दोहलक्ष्मी
Guru Pavanapure Hantabhagyam Janana. Namaskaram to all the Astikas. We have seen how Bhagavan, who was born in the very premises of Mathura jail to Devaki and Vasudeva, had to be shifted for safety. So, while Bhagavan had commanded that Yogamaya should be born as the daughter to Nandagopa and Yashoda, he also said that this child has to be exchanged. So Vasudeva left Mathura, taking the child in a basket. Above him was Adisesha, and it was pouring. And with the words of Vedanta Deshika, we get to know that Garuda was also flying atop. Shrutimayo iti pannagaha. So over this pannagaha was a Shrutimayo Garuda who was flying. So they had to cross the waters. What was the effect of crossing the waters? Please remember that it was pouring. So there was flooding all over, and Yamuna was crossing its danger mark. So were the flooding waters of Yamuna. Now what happened to Bhagavan? Here is the Shloka. Bhavantamaya mudvahan yadukulodvaho nissaran dadarsha gaganocchala jalabharam kalindatmajam aho salila sanjayaha sa punaraindra jalodito jalaugha iva takshanat prapada meyata mayayau ayam yadukulodvaha. This person who had come in the clan of Yadu, this great Yadava, Yadukulodvaha, Nissaran, Udvahan Bhavantam. He took you. He set out on a mission carrying you. So he says, Udvahan Bhavantam, by carrying you, Dadarsha Kalindatmajam. He saw river Kalindi, because there was Kalindi, that was, Kalinda is a Parvatam. It is a beautiful mountain. From the mountain of Kalinda comes a river. So she is referred to as Kalindi. Kalindi is also known as Yamuna, the sister to Yama. So the sister to Yama, called as Yamuna, who comes from Kalinda Parvatam, Kalindi Kantihari Kalayatu Vapushaha Kalima Kaitabharehe, says Vedanta Deshika. That Kalindi, Dadarsha Kalindatmajam, he saw that river Kalindi, Gagana Ucchalat Jalabharam. So the waters that were coming in this river were rising so high, the waves were going so high. Gagana Ucchalat Jalabharam. Punaha Saha Salila Sanchayaha. Punaha Saha Salila Sanchayaha. However, despite so much of waters just lashing till the sky, Ayayau Prapada Meyatam, it came very close to Vasudeva. it touched his neck level, because if it crosses his head, he will get submerged. But the waves were lashing in such a way as it came close to Krishna, as if their waves' only intent was to touch the extending feet of Krishna. So if Krishna's feet were coming out of the basket, Yamuna waters would come and lash at those feet. So he says, Ayayau prapada meyatam tat kshanat jalau ghaha iva. At that very instant, it looked what a flood it is. On one side, it is flooding. Either sides of the banks were getting breached. Trees were falling. It was just catastrophe there. But on the other side, when the same flooding waters were coming towards Vasudeva, they ensured that he was not drowned. And Vasudevasya Puman Vasudeva, that child of Vasudeva called Krishna, who seated over his head. When the waters came close, it looked as if those waters were slowly lashing to get association with Krishna's feet. So what a wonder, says Bhaṭṭatiri. Jalaugaihi iva Aindrajaloditaha. Aindrajalam means it is magic. So it appeared as if it was just magical to witness this particular incident where the waters of Yamuna wanted to touch Krishna's feet. See, this is where we need to understand that in comparison to Godavari, in Ramayanam, when Godavari was asked by Rama, where is Sita? Hamsakaranda Vasinam Vande Godavari Nadim. It seems she didn't open her mouth because she was worried, what if Ravana gets to know that I have helped Rama and he will cause harm to me? Unlike Godavari's Yamuna, she said, let Kamsa do whatever he wants. Let him assume that I have had an association with Krishna, but I will have. So Yamuna stands as a river extraordinaire for having assisted Bhagavan in this particular avatar. Aindrajaloditaha aho. Then he continues, Prasupta Pashupalikam Nibhrita Marutadbalikam Apavrita Kavatikam Pashupa Vatikam Avishan Bhavantamayam Prasava Talpake Tatpadat Vahan Kapatakanyakam Swarapuro Magato Vegataha Swapura Magato Vegataha. So he says, Avishan Pashupa Vatikam, entering. Now he has crossed the Yamuna waters. He has reached Gokulam. How did he find the way to that house? Today we have a yantram called GPS. In our yantram, we have installed GPS, right? That will show us the way. But what is the way out here? This is where Vedanta Deshika in his Yadavabhyudayam states that the village deities' idols were held at the corner of every street. They all had the swords. So that idol had that sword. The moment the doors, inanimate doors could open, even the statues who generally looked not so movable, their swords that they held turned like this and became the arrow marks. So as these arrow marks were released, Vasudeva could spot the way to Nandagopa's house. Avishan Pashupa Vatikam. Finally, he entered Nandagopa's house. Apavrita Kavatikam, where the doors of this house were also open. See, remember the doors of the jail were open. Now the doors of this house were open. Apavrita Kavatikam, Prasupta Pashu Palikam. There he saw many women folk, especially the women of the Gokulam. They were all asleep. Prasupta Pashu Palikam, Arutad Balikam Nibhritam. So those, at that point in time, where should he go and spot Yashoda? That is where he heard the cry of a girl child. Because Yogamaya had said that I shall incarnate. When she had said this child had to be exchanged, she will find a way for that. So he could listen to the cry of the girl child. Prasupta Pashupalikam Arutad Balikam Nibhritam. So to that girl child who was crying gently, Aparyan Bhavantam Prasava Talpake. Then he placed Krishna, Vasudeva placed his son Vasudeva Krishna next to Yashoda and took that girl child, Vahan Tatpadat Kapata Kanyakam. From there he took that child, Kapata Kanyakam, a deceptive girl child, because she is Yogamaya. What she is going to do later in Kamsa's assembly is unknown to Vasudeva himself. So he says, Vahan tatpadat kapata kanyakam ayam agataha swapuram vegataha. Thereby he carried the girl child, left his boy next to Yashoda, and came the same way like how he entered Gokulam, he exited Gokulam. He took the waters of Yamuna, which by then the flood waters had receded, and then he crossed Yamuna, reached Mathura, entered the jail, then fettered himself with the little girl in his hands. Then what happened? Tatastvadanujara vakshapita nidra vegadravad bhatotkara nivedita prasava varta yairvartiman vimukta chikurotkaraha tvaritam apatan bhojarat atushta iva drishtavan bhaginika kare kanyakam tataha bhojarat artiman. That king of Bhojas, who was Kamsa, got extremely distressed. He was so very distressed because all these years he has been killing the sixth children born to Devaki and Vasudeva. The seventh was informed as a miscarriage to him. So it was always a tense mind as to when will the cause of death of me be born, because the Ashariri Vak had said, the one whom you are sporting in your chariot, her eighth garbham will be your marana karanam. He has been waiting. When will that garbham happen? Bhojarat artiman. He is extremely distressed. That artiman, tvadanuja ravat kshapita nidra vega dravad bhatotkara nivedita prasava vartaya eva. Vartaya. So the news was conveyed to the distressed king, the king of Bhojas, called as Kamsa. What Varta was conveyed? Tvadanuja Ravakshapita. That a girl child is born. Who is this girl child? That is where Bhaṭṭatiri says, Tvadanuja. She is your sister, Bhagavan. Because Pravit Kale Nishami Navamim. So, Parashara Maharshi in Vishnu Purana states, when the Navami Tithi rose, it began, was this girl child born. So, Krishna is born on Ashtami, this girl child on Rohini. She is regarded as Yogamaya, Parvati, Umam, Haimavati. So, she is treated as a sister to Krishna. Tvad Anuja Rava Kshapita. With that sound that is coming of the crying of this girl child, who is your sister? Nidra Vega Dravad Bhatotkara. So those soldiers who were guarding this particular jail premises, suddenly they arose. They were disturbed by this cry of this girl child. Nivedita Prasava. They went and informed of this delivery of Devaki of a girl child to Kamsa. Vimukta Chikurotkaraha. Chikuram. All his hair tresses. Chikurotkaraha Vimukta. So it was not tied because he rose from his sleep. It was all disheveled. It was not tied together. So this unkempt hair, the disheveled hair, with all of this, Vimukta Chikurotkaraha Tvaritam Apatan. He took his sword and started rushing towards the jail premises. Atushtaha Iva Drishtavan. It appeared as though he is very, very displeased. So Atushtaha Iva Drishtavan. Kanyakam Bhaginika Kare. He saw your sister, Hey Krishna of Guruvayur, your sister Parvatavardhini, Uma, Durga, Haimavati. She was born in the hands, right? Now don't think that this is not their child. For now, it is Devaki and Vasudeva's child as per Kamsa. So that girl child was lying in the hands. So this man comes rushing with his anger, with his displeasure, with his wrath, with his jealousy. Take all these bad virtues that a human should not possess, which is found in Kamsa. He came with that sword to kill that girl child. So it was a very tense scenario, because whether it is their child or somebody else's child, Devaki and Vasudeva will take every effort to protect that child. Given that status within the jail premises, Kamsa wanted to bring an end to the cause of the death. So he had assumed that this girl child is the cause of the death. Let us see what happens to that girl child, whether the child is affected or not, in the next episode.
Life is a learning. Every day is a learning. So why stop? We are very happy to present Nārāyaṇa Pariksha RAP 2025. This is being organized by our trust Deshikadaya. It is an online examination. All that you have to do is to read the book Ramayanam Volume 1 that I have authored, And 2, register for the exam. It is happening on the 22nd of June 2025. Exciting prizes. And the biggest prize is reading the Ramayana and answering the questions. Age no bar, geography no bar. So why stop? Register soon. Namaskar.
कल्याणरूपाय कलौ जनानां कल्याणदात्रे करुणासुधाब्दे कंवादिदिव्यायुधसत्कराय वातालयाधीश नमो नमस्ते नारायण 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 नारायण